Welcome back to the Power Sports Memorabilia Show. I am your host, Matt Powers. Thank you again for joining me. And today's topic is around the news that Mr. Antonio Brown has been cut by the Oakland Raiders. Hasn't even played a game for him yet. And he just signed with the New England Patriots. And what does this do to Antonio Brown's autograph market? So there's kind of really three phases to this question. I've addressed this before with Antonio Brown. You know, you've got his Steelers stuff, now you've got his Raiders stuff, and then you've got his potential Patriots stuff. So let's kind of touch on this a little bit here with the Steelers first off. Now, I happen to believe that his Steelers stuff will come back up in value at some point when he stops playing in the NFL and potentially gets into the Hall of Fame. You know, it's going to be a few years for that. So if you want to sit on stuff for a little bit of a while, I do think his Steelers stuff is going to have some pretty okay value later on after he's done playing. Now, again, you're going to have to wait for all that to happen. Most of us don't want to do that. So if you're not in that boat, you can pretty much consider his Steelers stuff dead. Second thing on, let's move to the Raiders stuff here. And let me preface this before I jump into the Raiders things. I never try to sell or collect troublemakers, okay? And the reason being is troublemakers have a way of making trouble. I know that sounds crazy, right? And when troublemakers make trouble in the NFL, what happens to them? They get traded. They get cut. They move on. They don't stay with that team very, very long. Take, for example, Josh Gordon when he went to the Patriots. You know, all was good. Hey, the guy caught, Brady's record-setting touchdown pass, and you had photos of that. People were getting jerseys signed by the guy. I mean, that's just insane. Jerseys of Josh Gordon, I mean, those aren't going to sell. So you got to be real leery about troublemakers when they change teams, especially going to a situation in Oakland, which is already, it just seems like guys just, something happens to them when they go there. So when that happens, when he went to the Oakland Raiders, I knew particularly that the only stuff to have in collection as regards to the Raiders or stuff to sell was NFL basic stuff, rep balls, Duke balls, stuff that he can be traded for in any team and they would still sell. And, you get, I see that Fanatics was selling these Antonio Brown limited edition of 10 helmets with a Just Win Baby inscription for $800. And just think about the person that bought that, or I was thinking about that somebody today, there's got to be somebody out there with this fantasy football team that drafted Andrew Luck and Antonio Brown. Like there's got to be somebody out there that's got those two guys on his team, it's just, I think this is just the way it goes. But so you've got all this stuff now that is just going to, rot away, and it's just kind of pointless to have. And another thing I want to bring up about troublemakers too is you want to avoid getting stuff signed by them that's dual signed with somebody else. So take, for example, Derek Carr. You take perfectly good Derek Carr items, helmets, footballs, and stuff like that, and then you add Antonio Brown on there, and now those are just garbage. I mean, you pretty much might as well wipe off Antonio Brown's autograph and then just start over. So you got to be real careful about what you do with dual sign stuff. Now, yes, a player can sign for 1 year, and you can, get some dual sign stuff, and they can have a great year and win a championship. That obviously does happen. That's why guys sign 1 year deals with the idea of winning a championship. But that's not the case with the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders weren't winning the Super Bowl this year. I think we all kind of knew that. So that's just my 2 bits of the Raider stuff there and about getting dual sign stuff with troublemakers. Now let's move on to the Patriots stuff, okay? He's got a 1 year deal with the Patriots, making, more money than me and you will ever make, which I think that's awesome, man. A lot of guys hate on these guys when they, get traded for money reasons or attitude reasons, whatever, and then they sign another big deal. I mean, obviously the guy is wanted. He's a talented player, so, let him make the money he wants, Anyway, so he's got a 1 year deal there. Chances of him being there for a second year are probably slim to none. So if Antonio Brown does an autograph signing and is obviously going to start signing Patriot stuff, please don't pick up Patriot stuff. Don't be that guy. You're going to put yourself in a situation with Raider stuff. And please, if Tom Brady does a signing this year, please don't send in an Antonio Brown helmet and have Tom Brady sign it. You're going to be kind of in that pickle again with the whole Derek Carr and Antonio Brown stuff, because the Patriots may win the Super Bowl this year, and that may be a really good tandem that works out very well. And Antonio Brown has a bunch of touchdown catches, and it may be a good investment at that point. But the chances of that happening are, not likely. So I would just be very cautious about doing stuff like that and getting any Antonio Brown Patriot stuff. Now, hey, listen, if you're a big Antonio Brown fan and you follow him all around the NFL, then you know what? Go for it, man. But that's why I particularly like, just like in baseball, getting the single sign baseballs, guys can get traded all the time, and those items don't lose any value. They could be transferred with any team, and that's why I like the NFL rep balls, NFL Duke balls. Those are safe bets for good players, because good players are going to sell wherever they go, particularly the NFL, rep and football stuff like that. So, feel bad for some of those guys that got the Antonio Brown Raiders stuff. But, that's the way it goes in this industry. You make some big wins and you make some big losses every now and then. But just be careful on the Antonio Brown stuff. I don't foresee him being there with the Patriots more than this 1 year. But, again, time will tell here. I hope it really works out for him. But that's my 2 cents on the Antonio Brown situation. Thank you guys for listening. I always appreciate it. If you guys can hit that subscribe button wherever you're watching, listening, I always appreciate it. And if you guys want to visit the website at powersportsmemorabilia.com, that would be fantastic as well. See you guys in the next episode.